This guy's a propagandist. Hey, Mel, can
What's
you
your
call me? I'll
what's
talk
your
to you about talking about
what's your
first.
inference rule?
The logic here is that the right wing has more influence over your mind in this country.
No, it doesn't.
And
Well,
I mean, are you
what?
watching the numbers in the news? Nobody watches the mainstream news anymore in America.
You,
They
you
all
should
watch.
because you should because the mainstream news they they have accountability built in their entire system. Yes, in other words, those journalists are professional journalists, credentialed journalists.
No,
If
they're
they mess
not.
up,
They're
they
That's the
government.
they
problem.
they,
That's the
they are
problem, Robert.
committed.
All the
Listen, Robert.
They are
Once you get
committed.
paid,
Brother, hold on, brother. Let me finish.
listen.
Let me finish.
No,
Let me finish.
dude, no, dude. When you
all
get
they're all
paid to
government
do
agents.
something, hold
No,
on,
brother.
Latte. When
No,
you
brother.
get paid, people can pay you to say a lot of things, dude.
Yeah,
That
but
doesn't
you won't.
mean that you're going to report on the truth. They could pay you to tell a lie, and you'd
You,
probably do it too, the way
Yep.
that
notice,
your character is.
notice the word you're using. Could. Now check out the data. Now this is the data. So journalists go to prestigious, coveted institutions to ensure they learn how to disseminate the truth, right, with authenticity and trust.
Bro,
If they don't do that,
they re-
they risk losing their entire credibility. They do not mess
no,
with
bro.
their. They don't mess with that.
Well, look, we
Money,
Dude,
we
money
you
we
are,
have,
with
bro.
their. They don't mess with that.
well, look,
Money,
Dude,
money.
you
we
are
have evidence.
brainwashed, bro.
We have
No,
You
brother.
are,
evidence. No, hold up. Let me in. We have evidence that the journalists you're talking about from these
Yes.
established accredited universities
Okay.
are fine with a phone call from the FBI and are told you're going to find this and not this. We have evidence of it now. So nobody trusts any of these credentialed journalists in America anymore. And what you're talking about is believing in people we know have been proven to be liars for a
Hold on. Hold on.
system
Hold on.
with an agenda.
You mean the journalist following the law? Is that you have a problem with a journalist following the laws of your country? Listen,
Lawfare.
the
listen,
Lawfare is
FBI
separate.
doesn't make the law, bro. The FBI doesn't make the laws of our country. What are you
the,
talking about?
what you talk about? The FBI
This is
follows
crazy.
the law and applies the law. They apply the
They
law.
don't make, they don't. Okay, so when they apply the law by telling a
Right.
journalist, hey, you're going to find this and not this, because they don't want them looking at the actual truth of
No,
the matter, and then
no, no,
they report on that, you're saying that's following the law, bro?
no, no. You're planting subjectivity. If the FBI calls the media or so a journalist, they're calling the journalist to inform them of the law. No, let them know where they are going wrong and where they're going
No,
to
no,
be breaking the law.
no.
That's when FBI calls them. FBI
Sorry,
doesn't
no.
call them out of the blue and says, "Hey guys,
All right,
hey, report
present
this."
evidence of your claim. All right, present evidence for your
No,
claim.
no,
No,
hold
no,
up.
no. You made a claim.
I don't know
You
what the
present
laws
yours.
are in your country, but in America we have freedom of speech, and the FBI should not be calling a journalist and telling them what they can and cannot say. That is a
Uh,
major breach of public trust. It's it's constitutionally out of bounds, and that established mentality, you believing that the FBI has some sort of legal precedence to manage information, is exactly a big pivotal issue that anybody that disagrees with you, that's why they disagree with you. It's not
no, brother.
about the logic you're displaying because we know that side. We understand it. You're not
Okay.
being an arbiter of truth on how journalists get their fucking credibility, bro. We know
No,
they're liars, and the establishment
no,
behind them
you
is what
know.
backs
That's
their
a claim.
credibility.
That's a claim. You know they're liars. Present your evidence on that. Okay. The deal is
Um,
you made my point. You
We
made
had hold on. You asked him to present evidence. We have tons of evidence, dude. They
no,
release the documents to us, and they like allow us to see stuff that was classified, bro. So then, like, we have evidence that the Vietnam War, when they reported why they went, was the wrong reason. It's a lie, dude.
you're a big man. The journalists reported the information they had on hand. You're missing the point.
Okay, so they lied, bro.
No, brother.
Okay.
Listen.
Go talk to the
Listen.
journalist
Okay,
in the
okay.
Malaysian flight. There's a guy in
Listen. The
Tennessee who's
journalist.
crying his eyes out because his young son died in this flight, and they won't allow journalists to actually tell him
Look,
what
no,
happened to his kid.
No, that's a lie. No. Journalists have full. The press is protected in the
Hold on.
Constitution.
If
Remember,
that's a lie, how do you know that's a lie?
no, they are protected in the Constitution. They must disseminate the information in the way they see fit. Right? That is their job, and they must disseminate the truth. That's their mission. But they cannot break any laws.
All right.
So
All right.
Bro, you're living in fantasy land, bro.
they
You live
cannot
in
break
some
any
weird.
laws. They cannot
Agreed.
break the laws. If a journalist is climbing over the White House wall to force his way into the White House to try to get information, he has broken the
Bro,
law.
that doesn't even apply to what we're talking about.
It
You're
does.
just all over the place. You're a scattergunning
What
crazy person.
I'm saying, what I'm
We just gotta agree to disagree, man. Like, if you believe in the established journalism, like, all power to you. But most of us have lost faith in it. We're looking for truth in different ways,
no.
and not being
And,
able to do that has been a big problem too. Like, why does the establishment of
okay.
journalists want to come out and do attacks on other people sharing information? Why is
No,
that
no.
also happening?
Okay.
Right? So you
Okay.
could even look at it at a different angle. Like, let's take it away from the credibility of them. Why are they working so hard to prevent others from sharing certain ideas? Right? Is that a boundary for you in any way?
Who is preventing anything? What are you talking about? They're not preventing anything. But brother, listen. You ignored the mainstream media and you voted for Trump. Trump came in on conspiracy theories, unproven. None of what Trump was running on was true. For example, when Trump was saying that Mexicans are invaders, are they invaders? People coming across your border, are those invaders? Those are hungry people. You guys voted for that.
Dude,
He lied.
bro, there's a way to come to this country legally. Are you kidding me? You're saying we should allow people to come in here illegally?
No, those people, they come to the border, they do asylum law, they go through asylum filings. Some of them do cross the border
Dude, they're
illegally.
jumping the fence, bro, and digging
Yes,
holes under they're not going to the fucking border. What are you talking
yes,
about?
but those are not invaders.
The people jumping the fence are not invaders. What
No,
are
they're not
they, dude?
invaders.
What would you describe someone who comes to your house and
Right,
knocks down the front door and
right,
enters into your house? What would you call that person?
right. As if they come into the house to harm me, that's a different. If they come into the house
Yeah.
to beg me for food, that's another different thing.
Oh, so they broke the door of your house to come in to ask you for
For
food, bro?
food. Yes.
Are you ridiculous?
Yeah, big man. They broke the door.
Like,
They come in and say,
honestly,
I'm just hungry. I'm starving. Can you please give me some food?" And I said, "All right,
But you
here's
have
some
an
bread."
example
And
of
they left.
this? You have an example of this happening?
I, no, that's your example.
Yeah, because there's no person that breaks down your door and then goes, "Yo, can I just have some food?" You're
okay,
living in La La Land, bro.
yeah, Robert, give me an example of another country that is cool with 30 million immigrants coming into their country within 3 years.
How advanced is that country?
How advanced is that country?
The United States is the best game in town.
No, I
So
asked. You can't answer a question with a question unless you're just trying to like keep this thing running in your illogical fantasy land.
okay, England allowed so many people from Syria. Germany allowed so many people from the Syria migration that Trump did. That Trump messed up, right? Europe, Eastern Bloc countries are allowing all those Ukrainians to come on over, right? Untethered, unvetted, they're just coming in because they're hungry. It's the same thing at the southern border.
So that's your response. When I ask
Yeah,
you what country do you know that's let in 30 million immigrants within 4 years? Actually, it was within
again,
3 years. Sorry.
again, the United States is the best game in town, so you're going to have more. So the percentage is higher, 30 million, right? In England, which is smaller and pretty advanced, they're probably going to have 5 million, right? As a matter of fact, they did have
You
5
got
million.
number? Oh, so it's a matter of fact. So you got a number for that? You got evidence to support that
Yes,
claim?
I'm just
let's look it up. We can look it up
I'm just
together.
trying to get you to run your motor a little bit on this cuz I want you to see that it's not abnormal for a leader to come in and want a border and to protect its citizens from too many immigrants coming in, which would impact the value of money in our country and the value of work and the value of our infrastructure. And that's like Poland, Argentina. I mean, you can list the countries, 20 or 30, that literally have 10 times more strict, and they've had it that way for a reason.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And you brought up Europe. I love that you brought up that example. What's happening to their country now as a result of letting in all those immigrants?
They're doing quite well. What are you talking about?
No, that's a delusional
No, they're
response.
not.
England is doing quite well. In England, just last year, they allowed 845,000 migrants to come in.
Yeah, did they jump the fence, bro?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Go and
because
tell me
is
how
that
their
who
crime
they
rate is doing.
allowed? That's what they allowed in. Are we allowing people to jump the fence? And that's considered they were allowed in at that point, bro?
All right. Do you know how many jumped the fence
I
versus
don't
how
even know
many?
how you're comparing 845,000 to, what did you say, Tank? 30 million or something?
England is small. I'm doing a percentage.
And 30 million is a base
Okay.
estimate. We know that there's tens of millions beyond that we haven't been able to even know how
Okay. No, you're guessing now.
process it. No, I'm not
No,
guessing.
no, you're guessing. No, you're guessing now.
No, I'm not guessing. That's what you've been doing, and I haven't fucking attacked you on that. I'm just trusting you. That's what.
No, I'm giving you numbers.
Shit, man. Saying I'm guessing. No, we have more data than your argument has. We have all the data. We have the massive reduction of job opportunity for American infrastructure. We have the USAID showing the $60 million a month for the apartments and gas cards for the immigrants. We have actual numbers for a baseline, but we know there's tens of millions more that made it in that haven't signed up for these programs. So that's the difference. And I don't think that you're connecting how big the events have shifted in the last 3 to 6 years, right? I mean, having a moral standpoint, wanting to save people, provide a safe haven for people who are starving, that's totally different than allowing other countries to empty their prisons and come here.
No, nobody's emptying their prisons. That's a lie. That was propaganda.
No, it's not propaganda. We have evidence now, because some of those countries are now forced to take back their criminals in handcuffs.
Again,
and you can go look at the prison numbers in those countries. We've got journalists now on the ground going to look in those countries, and we're seeing that their prisons are completely empty. They've got
but Trump told you that the country emptied their prisons and sent them to the United States. It's a lie.
Trump didn't tell me that.
Yes, he
Evidence
did.
told me that.
I'm gonna pull up his words.
Evidence told me that.
I'm going to pull up his words. Trump lied and said Venezuela emptied their prisons and sent them to the United States. That's a lie.
It wasn't just Venezuela, though.
Right? That was a lie.
No, it's not a lie. We have evidence now.
Those prisoners made it to the U.S. on their own, not under the behest of Venezuela. That's a lie that was told.
We also have testimonies from the Darwin Gap, journalists who've gone to the Darwin Gap and interviewed these people with translators.
Mm-hmm.
So we have data points all across the board saying where these people are from.
Yeah, we know. But
hold on a second here.
You Robert, do not have a data point.
Robert, you got to try not to interrupt him, dude. When he makes a point, right, you got to try to address the point, not just say no.
Would most of the Venezuelan people from prisons be people who was in a position to the ruling system down there?
Yeah, and we also know that it created also a pull for people who were just trying to get to a safe place in America, right? There's no exempt.
Yeah. But I think probably most of the ones coming from Venezuelan prisons were arrested because they were in opposition to the sitting powers that be.
Like once they got here. Well, what I find interesting.
No. In Venezuela.
Oh yeah.
Fighting against the government in Venezuela and were arrested. That was one of the main reasons why they were arrested, and they managed to get out of the prisons, and then they escaped to USA.
Yeah, so not all of them had, done crimes that were bad. Most of them were because of the laws they were being out of balance. They were incarcerated, right? And That makes sense too. But when you look at what's happening in our country, like the impact in people's lives, like people are losing loved ones, you're getting a massive pull from the government to provide that money. And when you know that those immigrants are going to be moving to states that don't require voter ID, you start to see why would they create such a pathway and blow so much money is because it's not because they're trying to save people. It's because they want every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come to our country without an ID and go to one of these states and win a swing state. So the connection to the immigration and the way the political system has been is just, it's so blown out of proportion. Like people, I think everyone wants to have a moral standpoint where you want to help people, right? But there's also a line where you're saying like, we've got massive infrastructure damage, major catastrophes have happened like hurricanes, and we've
Well,
got
there's a
people starving without homes, and they're sending $60 million to Uganda to teach a reporter not to say she and her.
there's a capacity limit too. Like in the example of like Tora gave with his own house representing the country and somebody infiltrating his home, you can only fit so many people in that house and have that household function properly. When you exceed that limit, you start running into all sorts of issues, and that's precisely where we're at right now with California at least.
Yeah, and it's just Americans have
Yeah.
been screwed.
But the thing is that there, all of this bloviating about wasteful spending that Trump and Elon Musk was lying about and all this kind of stuff. You know how much he has saved so far, quote unquote, $1 billion. What if they were so if the United States government was so rot with wasteful spending, you only found $1 billion, brother. Do you
Only?
know the size of the budget? And by the way, out of that $1 billion,
What kind of argument is this?
he's
That's not
actually
an
no, no, no.
argument, bro. You
He's
got to
actually
start one step at a time, bro. In order to make $1 million, you first have to make $1.
no,
That's
no, no,
how it
no,
works, dude.
guys, no, no, no. You ran on massive waste.
Take a deep
That
breath,
was
brother. Take a deep breath.
massive. Yeah, yeah. No, no,
Well,
no. What I'm saying is
the thing is, Robert, is this,
massive, massive waste.
all right,
That's what you
all
guys
right,
ran on.
you're repeating yourself, Robert. The problem is, dude, he's only been in office for how long? How many days?
Come on.
For a month? Let's say a month. So if he's able to average $1 billion savings a month and that number grows exponentially, what's the problem?
Yeah, we're
Who,
seeing
who,
it
sa-
increase
who,
every
sa-
day, right? So
who
we're not.
says it's going to? Who says it's going to increase in any significant way? What is your
Who
metric?
says it's not? Who says it's not? I mean, time will tell. I'm just saying the guy's only been in office for a limited amount of time, and he's already uncovered a bunch of stuff.
Do you know who
No,
Pete
you,
Hegseth
you,
is,
you, you know,
Robert?
let me say this. Let me say this real quick. He's actually some of the stuff that he's cutting are actually needed programs. They're actually so he's already dipping into needed things to try to justify the one bill. So as he moves down the line, he's going to be cutting things that the country needs. You
Yo,
understand me?
check this out. Tom Homan found out like there was these leaks coming out where ICE was going to be raiding for the illegals, and they found that these reporters found out the locations. Turns out the leaks all go back to the FBI, and Tom Homan has found out who they are, and they're all going to get arrested. He says, "How fucking awesome is that?"
Awesome. Let's
Yeah,
go, baby.
I gotta say this real quick, because of what Robert just said. And I don't mean to seriously attack you, Robert, but what you're doing is decoding events with about a 90 IQ, right? That's about room temperature, right? You lack critical thinking. You're not connecting more than one layer of issues. You're creating huge pivot points around basic things like that person's a liar or that person is this without providing any evidence behind it. So when they asked you have to take it step by step, we really want you to step by step build why you have this logic, but you keep just repeating this like evidence that you're not using logic.
No, no, I'm trying to stop you guys from using your feelings. I want you guys to look at the data. I am strictly staying on the information, the data, right? You guys want to talk about things that you think
You
is
just asked
happening.
me a question.
Or
You said right, my response to that is no, completely wrong. Nobody's connecting it to any of the logic you're presenting in the premise that you're creating. You're just making claims.
here's another, I'm gonna make this claim. Remember, you ran on the massive deep state. There was a deep state, and so it's how powerful they are. And you're telling me that Elon Musk was able to go in and dismantle the everlasting powerful deep state? Give me a break. The point is, there was no deep state.
Yeah, you know what's so great, dude? You're the type of person. Hold on. You're the type of person that we're so happy is upset that Trump got in office about. Keep going, bro. Keep going. This is
I'm
hilarious.
not upset. I'm actually laughing that
Oh,
you
keep
guys
it going. It's fucking retarded and hilarious.
you fell for the okey doke.
No, wait,
If
though,
listen,
Robert.
hold. If I was the all powerful deep state that you guys had described, you think Elon Musk could come in there? I would have made sure he not make it anywhere close to my department, because remember, I am the all powerful deep state. That's what you guys told us.
Fix
Okay,
your mic,
hold on.
Robert.
Robert, look, you've done a good job of framing it now, right? So now we can more see that you're aware of this deep state and you're worried that Trump is part of this deep state, right? Even though he's acting, and a lot of people in here would agree with you on the savior strat, right? Presenting the savior. They've been
Cheeto
doing
Jesus.
like people know about that and are worried about it, man. Like, well, you're pivoting it into places that don't connect to that logic, right? So it's like nobody's gonna fucking connect to you there. Like, I don't know. Because I'm worried about it
What?
too. Like I'm waiting for the audit on the Department of Defense, the DoD. We're going to see that in the next couple weeks, and depending on how deep they go, that's going to expose so much. Like people will lose so much trust in the savior complex if they don't really, unlock the hood there. I think.
Robert, you sound like a flat earther that doesn't like Trump too. You know that, right?
Uh, no, I apologize for giving that impression. I'm just telling you, Trump ran on lies that are bearing out to be actual lies.
The
You know
problem
what I
is the problem is you're decoding it in the day's events, right? We know that the deep state works in a very long game. So they can present someone to us as an actor, right? So that's the main pivot. And what is the benefit that Trump would gain from lying in these little moments? No, he's not lying. He's just gained power and he's doing what he's convinced everyone to vote for, right? And the real question is that going to be a good result? It's not I believe it's bad. It could be good. It could be good in the short term, designed to create distrust when a certain big thing happens, right? So like the end game is the more important aspect, like in my opinion.
what? No, what? What I'm saying. Listen. Again. He Trump came in on things that people felt were wrong, not actual evidence of wrong. That he came
Hey,
in
Rob.
on the feeling of a deep state
Hey, Rob.
controlling the American people. That is bearing out to be not true.
Okay, Rob.
Because
Do you think it's a good or a bad thing if they eventually release the Epstein flight logs?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Any
Is that a good or
information?
is that a good or a bad thing? I'm just asking you.
Yeah. Of course, Epstein was Trump's best friend. Yeah, release that.
That's a big tell. You think that Trump and Epstein were best friends?
The only photos I see are Trump with Epstein. I don't see no photos of Epstein with Hillary that you guys told us. I don't see no photos of Epstein with Bill Clinton at Bill Clinton's house. Epstein was at Trump's home.
That's weird because there's a painting of Bill Clinton in a dress in Epstein's flat.
That's not Bill Clinton. That's a painting.
Oh yeah, that's weird. That's weird, isn't it? It's definitely that's not Bill Clinton. Fair enough.
Yeah, but I do agree. It's weird, but
So,
Epstein was
you
at
don't think
Trump.
it was weird that Ghislaine Maxwell was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding?
Oh, you mean you're talking about the daughter or something like that?
Epstein, no. Epstein's mistress, who's in jail for trafficking people, was
Oh.
that Chelsea Clinton's wedding. You don't think that's weird?
Uh, yes, yeah, that is weird. But again, these people are
They're
all
making excuses for it now.
they're all friends.
Well, Ghislaine has a submarine license, and if you look at Chelsea Clinton's, Twitter history, which has been erased now, it's kind of hard to find. You can see her talking about getting a submarine license. So there's a connection to the intelligence agency through these people that Trump was not a part of. They have been fighting tooth and nail to push him out. They've been using the same loopholes, like the way you see him as a con artist is a result of him having to use these loopholes against them over time. Now that could mean evidence that he's part of the factions, right? And we see that these bloodlines could be warring amongst themselves for control. So in that, but there's just way too much evidence showing that Trump was not in the club that they were in the Hollywood scene, all the connections in Hollywood, all of his contracts and the shows he was a part of. There's a clean separation, right? And you can also see it all the way back to the mafia, where I believe the mafia was thrown to the wolves, right? They were thrown to the public because they wouldn't go along with the pedophilia stuff.
What? Again, Trump is from that Hollywood. Okay, you remember the Me Too movement? Look how many women have accused Trump of assaulting them. Come on, now. Trump is part of that rotten.
No, look how many CIA
behavior.
officers we have coming out explaining that they use that op as lawfare against anyone who's going to come forward that's in opposition to the system. We have more evidence saying that the CIA and the intelligence agencies like the FBI and the deep state systems have been running these ops on people. And Pete Hegseth just now proved to America that there was a fake case against him. Who's the other guy? There's another guy. Matt Gaetz just proved it. There's multiple court cases now where we have showing them, not just exposing that they win in their court case, but they got it into a classified era where they had to have judges that had high level classifications because of the classification level of the officers that were being exposed. So the ops that are in place, I think you're just not realizing that they're able to pull something like that off.
Again,
they can get 6 girls to come up in court and lie as actors.
What? No such thing.
What? No, yeah, that's a shocker, huh?
No such thing. Give me
Have you ever played Skyrim, dude?
Listen, Hegseth, they were investigating him because of complaints that was accused. He was accused, so investigations opened. No problem. That's what we do. We investigate when people accuse you. We don't just start up a random investigation. You're accused. We have evidence.
That's why Trump is finding out who accused him. That's why he's finding out. Why did they accuse him? Because, he's going to get them now. It's going to be great, dude. I love it.
Oh, get them for what? He broke laws. He broke campaign finance laws in New York. That's a fact.
and you claiming that more people watch the right media and that it's affecting more people's minds is mind-blowing, dude. Nobody watches Fox News. Nobody watches CNN anymore, dude. I mean, I'm trying to be nice when I say this, but only absolute retards take those sources of news serious.
Wow. Have you looked at the latest Nielsen ratings?
Have you heard of the debranding of the Uniparty?
Hey, you want to know what the funniest part about it is? Is the only people who watch American news are foreigners.
Literally.
Garbage. Because Fox News has 2 million people watching their nonsense daily.
That's
who are those people?
Way off. That's like 2013 numbers or some shit, dude.
Big Mug.
Hey, the one part into this that you're not figuring. Hold on, the one part into that figure that you're not figuring is that all around the country right now there are coffee bars and shit like that are playing the news and nobody's watching it. So there's like
1.5
million TVs all around the nation right now playing the news without a single fucking person watching
it. Listen. The mainstream media has reputable journalists. You're getting your information from one-off YouTube people. They have no credentials.
Yeah,
no credentials. You tell me. Hold on.
And real
Some dude.
quick, you said
You need to lose that fuck. You need to lose that you word, bro. Like fuck off with
All
that
right,
you shit.
all right. Hold on. Everybody, let's settle down. Remember, Robert's against the the whole room at this point. He's on his own, so let's allow him to respond to each point that's made. It's only fair. Robert,
yeah.
try to tone it down a little bit, a little less energy, a little bit better talking points. Go ahead, Robert.
Make sure you drink some more Kool-Aid, Robert.
Yo, you guys have
Yo,
to jump off of the Kool-Aid of random little videos.
Hey, let me
like
make one. Hey, Dred, let me make one point though. You said there was no pictures of Hillary Clinton with Epstein, so I had to just put one in the chat that I found right away, real quick. So why are you saying there's no pictures? You just didn't look, or what?
No, at her home.
Someone
You
send
said
him.
that. Oh, at his home.
No, someone send him the clip
They
of
didn't have a
Operation
picture with Bill
Mockingbird.
Clinton in the ice cream shop, so therefore they weren't friends. Okay.
At her home. Trump is the only one that had Epstein at his home. Mar-a-Lago, chopping it up and eating it. You know what I mean? That's not good. At
Yeah,
your
but
house?
Epstein's also one of the only people that got kicked out for being what?
Well, Mar-a-Lago is a resort, not really a home, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like you are spewing every misinformation talking point from like Whoopi Goldberg right now. This is literally
No,
everything she talks about.
no, I am just saying.
Yeah, he's a crazy liberal.
No,
Like,
no.
it's
I'm
insane,
using,
dude.
I'm using.
Retarded liberals, dude.
You guys don't realize I'm using your logic here. Trump,
No, like,
Okay.
Epstein is.
You got your mind.
All right, buddy. Whatever you say.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. I know it's tougher. It's tougher. Listen. Epstein is at Trump's home. Your guys' logic. Come on, no. Spin up your conspiracy mind. Come on, do it now.
do you think it's pivotal that Epstein made his way to Trump's home?
I think it's just not good. It's not a good look. To me, it's not a good look. That guy is a terrible, disgusting harmer of little girl, and he's at your home. What? It's not good.
Do you know what happened when he was at that party at his home?
What happened?
So Epstein apparently made a pass at Trump's daughter, and there was a big altercation, and Trump banned him from Mar-a-Lago permanently.
Where did you hear that?
This is testimony from people that were at the party,
Mm.
and this is multiple corroborate. This isn't just like one person that got set up on a newscast. Sometimes it's everyone that knows about it and talks about it.
What kind of pass did he make? Like, did he sniff her hair? Like, what did he do?
Something about I should invite you. He was talking to her too much and over focusing on her, and said some comment to her that made her feel uncomfortable. Is what
Was it Ivanka?
it may have
No, he
been.
said it was his daughter. Oh, he's got more than one daughter?
He's got he's got daughters. He's got a daughter from a different wife. I think Ivanka's from a different wife, right? Or am I retarded?
There was Ivanka. She's an angel. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and she was like 12 or 13 at the time. So like, and
Oh
people
my
talk,
God.
yeah, and people talk about how it got Trump real fucking heated up. So
Whoa, bro.
who is
Well,
it?
that's a good point. So, how do you feel about that, Robert? Like, do you have any closing statements on that?
No comment, right?
And here's the thing too, though. Like you can look at like people who had talked to like Princess Diana, and like I know this is not the conspiracy theory everybody's seen. This is just some basic stuff. They were friends, Trump and Diana. So same with Michael Jackson, same with JFK Jr. And they all regularly talked about how corrupt the system was and how great it would be to work against it. So seeing that common denominator at the time, it tells you that there's probably a lot of people that knew they were being survivors. And if you listen to some of Donald Trump's like more nuanced quotes, he talks about how he likes survivors. He's not going to come into the government and see people who have been playing the game because they had to, and just just burn them out. He said, I'm going to give everyone a chance to do the right thing. So when I see little things like that, I start to get a little bit of hope. Like I know about the deep state and all this, like how complex the misinformation operations have really gotten, that both sides have been tainted. But for the first time, we're seeing the uniparty just totally get dissolved. It got debranded. So I think there's just like a sparkle of hope.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude. I'm like, I love it. It's like, it's the coolest, most American shit going on right now. What a great time.
You know what I mean? It's like legendary, Loki, if you really like
Oh my god,
some
dude!
faith.
It's like
Hey,
the
hey, Tank, what
winning.
do you think Trump's going to do with crypto? Do you think he's going to revitalize the U.S. economy and incorporate crypto as like a mainstream tool?
I think with the announcement of the AI infrastructure, he's building what they need to create a federally backed crypto coin. And I really do think one of their goals is to pull the trigger on that before the admin's over.
But yo, I would say this, Dashlo. You know what it is? It's like I look at it like imagine you're at the Wizard of Oz and there's an elevator, and we're just gonna keep going into the Wizard of Oz with the digital currency shit. Yeah, we're just gonna. I hopefully he uses the real USD. You know, man, I'm Ripple all day.
And just follow the yellow brick road.
Exactly. It's never gonna go back to what people are like arguing that they think it should go back to. Like people don't even understand what money is, and like the idea that you can create like I've tried to talk to these points with you guys, but you guys fight me at every turn. But like, obligation creates currency, and like money isn't. I don't know. I think there's an alternative understanding of money that exists that the laymen are
Yeah, I
not
don't want to get
familiar
into
with.
all that, bro.
Exactly. But I think crypto will be like another layer of the Wizard of Oz, which will be just fine. I think.
I like the idea of people coming in that are competitive around, optimizing a system, right? Why are we not why haven't we normalized it before, bringing in the smartest minds to look at how things are running and try to optimize it,
Check
right?
this out too. Yeah, what do you? And just because I'm gonna listen, I'd like to hear your take, man. And die slow too. What are you guys' thoughts with? And I just want to say out the gate that I am totally fucking here for it, and I love it. Because again, I don't want the space program or the globe going anywhere. I think what they're gonna do is monetize asteroids with with minerals on it, so that it'll be able to give them collateral. Do you know what I mean? To push the currency forward. Your thoughts?
I mean, I've heard a lot of talk about these asteroids containing, like a single asteroid containing more gold than has ever been mined in world history. Um, whether or not that's true or is even
No,
attainable.
not whether it's true or not. Just the idea that Elon Musk with SpaceX will be going to get asteroids, and they're going to collateralize those
Oh
asteroids.
my god, you guys, this is crazy.
It's
Well, I don't
beautiful,
know if
dude.
you can collateralize something that you don't have access to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, oh,
that's
yeah.
more of an idea. That's more of an idea than anything, like
Bro,
Well,
collateralizing an
no,
idea.
I agree,
you guys have gone
but I'm just
fully into like normie land, bro. Like I'm
Since
like
the
dying
'24
here,
was
dude.
done, I
that's
think it's
okay,
So
bro.
much
possible now that
misinformation for like the
We're not
last
trying
couple
to talk
minutes that I'm
about
listening.
JFK being fucking, Jimmy Carter right now. Fucking, what I'm saying is like, I'm curious, and
Strong
I'm
man.
fair enough. It was got
Yeah,
me,
can you stop
but
interrupting,
anyway, so
Joe?
like the idea of
But
monetizing
you guys need
asteroids.
to be interrupted. This is crazy.
Okay, great. The fucking monetization of asteroids, though, I think they're gonna go that direction, and Elon Musk is the perfect candidate to like make it happen. They'll do like a resource. We know the asteroids here. Everyone's gonna believe it, so it'll give it credibility, and it'll give them a line of credit to go get it.
He has
Issa, did you become a Glober?
he's the
Are you?
only
Me?
sorry.
Me?
Yeah, you a Glober
No,
now?
no,
You
I'm not a
Globehead?
Glober. I'm not a Glober, but
You
I'm not a
sure?
freak. I'm not. All I'm
I
saying
got.
is like,
Listen.
okay.
Listen. I'm just telling you. I got some beachfront property on an asteroid heading to Mars. I think you want to get in on this investment, man.
Issa said, "I'm not a Glober dump, but don't push."
No, all I'm saying is like that's what the normies need, man. The normies, they're never gonna get rid of space. They're never gonna like flat Earth isn't gonna be the fucking truth, bro. You're gonna always need the globe as the secular cosmology.
Bro, on an interesting note, Elon has existing IP around trying to farm asteroids.
Sorry, I missed that. What was it?
Elon has existing, like, he's filed like patents around technology to farm asteroids.
Oh yeah, man! I'm telling you, it's coming. They found a fucking asteroid like years ago. We were looking at it. I was talking about this shit in 2016. There's an asteroid with some like ridiculous amount of nickel on it that they were tired about going to get.
What if he's just sending drones to the outer pond and bringing resources back and just saying it's an asteroid?
Well, yeah, dude, think of it. The Fed just prints anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's actually backed by collateral or not. It's just a storyline. It's Wizard of Oz.
Elon's a bitch.
I think I think Elon would store it in a facility and use it to create his own gold for, like, data pathways for motherboard. Like, he would use it for actual manufacturing. I don't think he'd sell it in any way. He would just create real value, have his own supply.
I don't think it's even that complicated. I just think it's probably in the ground somewhere in fucking North Carolina, right? Fucking and like and fucking, you know what I mean? Like all I'm saying is that like they're gonna wherever they get it from, it doesn't matter. The point is the story that goes along with it to sell the collateralization of the futures. You know what I mean? Like as long as they have a collateral, they have like anytime you have a business, if you have a business, you can get a loan based off of whatever the value of that business is. Do you know what I mean? Like and or
Yeah.
whatever the mission statement of the business is. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like just and this is why I say like obligation creates currency. You create a business, you say this is what we're gonna do, and these are the goals and da 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 da. And the more you have it outlined, the more they're prepared to give you money. Just off based off an idea.
I'm
So
seeing
whether
some huge big shifts happening.
yeah, brother. I mean, this is like the first time in history where it's like there's like the bell curve and the people in the middle are like kind of tuned in to some of the conspiracy shit.
Well, like, look at Bitcoin and how untethered it is in going up in value. Like, and I don't mean it just standalone as
Was
a
that
number
was
going
that
up.
was that a joke? The untethered part being that they're synonymously correlated with tethered.
Oh yeah, that is kind of funny. It's funny. But think about it, like, look at any other form of currency like gold or silver, like any raw material like copper or something like that, steel. Like there's a cap to the order of magnitude that it can rise to, and a lot of people believe that's because of the selling of bonds around raw materials. So like they can sell $100,000 in gold bonds when they only got $10,000 worth of gold. So a lot of people believe at a certain point, Bitcoin is gonna, or gold and silver and all these other raw materials are gonna kind of snap back to reality around the cryptocurrency value, because everything's gonna get reoriented around crypto and to the real market. There's gonna be a middle ground. A lot of people that's just gonna create a massive order of magnitude increase for raw materials. If I had money right now, I'd just be buying gold straight up. Just buy like a gram if I could.
Why not just get a gold mine?
That'd be genius. I'll just go and slave a tribe in Africa.
They'd do it for Happy Meals if you gave them a Happy Meal a day. I mean, they'd probably be happy.
Everyone, I just have bubblegum until our first shipment.
Just saying.
No joke. No, once the audit starts on the military, I think we're going to really truly see how much money could have been in the American infrastructure. And even if Trump is just some simple businessman who's just coming in like, fuck it, I'm just going to be the badass and make a name for myself, being the best president businessman ever. Like, if that's all we stand to gain from Trump, it's going to be insane. Like, trillions of dollars getting re-injected into our infrastructure.
See, I'm on that. Like this shit was like our military. Like I'm on that. I'm touching such a tard. You know what I mean? I fucking. It's like I think there's way more to this behind the scenes. Like they had all this Chinese money try to take over our government, and we had to do something about it. And like Trump's the reaction. It's just wild.
Yep. I'm pretty much a Q-tard. Like at my roots, I truly believe Q was an information operation, like just like the ops we've seen through the decades. But this one was fighting fire with fire, right? It's in some way, in some capacity, good men found a way to share what was really going on in our system, and I think it really has created an awakening. But I mean, we've seen awakenings before, so.
But yeah, and you think about all the layering of it, so it's like it never, like anyone who was looking at that shit and was reading between like the time travel bullshit, like there was so much gold, and then it would be like time travel, and then the Democrats would always bite on the time travel crazy part of the conspiracy, make it look retarded, but you know what I mean? Like it was so brilliant because like it had enough fluff to be considered retarded, and then it had enough juice to be considered legitimate. It's just so fucking clever.
Yeah, and I had read all the posts, so I knew there wasn't really anything in there like magical or extreme. It was all, and there were basically people decoding some of the posts that were leading people to believe that Q was, an anti-pedophile ring, or believed in cannibal upper echelon, like all these specific things. But really, all it
Well, I
was
don't know.
a
See, I'll tell
slew
you
of
what.
thousands of questions, man. It's
Yeah, but
thousands of
that's the one
questions.
with the meat on the bone, though. Actually, funnily, you bring that point up, like pedophile or whatever. Like even Trump, when they asked him, they were like, "Do you know anything about QAnon?" He's like, "I don't really know anything about it." He goes, "But they don't like pedophiles, right?" I fucking love that that was his answer. Like he played fucking super, like just super, like I don't know, but I heard they don't like pedos. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, fucking, just brilliant, man. So
Yep.
good, dude. And everyone's like, "Oh, Operation Trust, you guys are retarded." No, no, no. It's like, I don't know. And then the other side was like, "Oh, you guys believe anything?" And fucking, it was just perfectly masked,
It it
beautifully
is
done.
it is interesting how some of the Q posts are signed 4/10/20.
And what's that reference to? What do you mean?
That's the initials DJT.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you know what's crazy is every one of the posts on 4chan, if I'm not mistaken, those like whatever the sign was that he was like posting under, all of those, if you took those and put them into Google books, they brought up like a litany of conspiracy books and a whole nother rabbit hole of shit.
Yeah. Well, I just keep looking for common denominators, and I've found enough to where I understand not believing the op, like seeing it as a misinformation op. I get that. Like Q is just another op to get the people into the savior mentalities of grassroots movement, blah blah blah. I get that, but at the same time, the people that are taking leadership that have signaled through the Q drops it's mind blowing. Like we're seeing like Cash Patel, some of the information he dropped like years before anyone knew he was going to be FBI director. He was on podcasts talking about what was coming, talking about some of the information to look at, blah blah blah. Like all this stuff people thought was just straight conspiracy theory. It's like now we're just looking for more conspiracy theories because we know that they have all come true. And it may not be in the capacity that the mainstream media talked about or even that anybody assumed when they read about it, but we have all these events that have connected the puzzle. So now we don't have to jump to these weird conclusions. We see just a very simple, like, oh shit, everything had to be presented at a right time, at a right moment, right? The whole information warfare was the premise, right? And so I think the ship has sailed for, trying to say like I don't try to tell people like, go look at these drops, they're crazy. I think the ship has sailed for it. I think it's already had its do what they can do.
Dude, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no stopping it. Is what's cool.
Well,
Like,
what's
there's no
what's up with
no
this
amount of.
this slow start? Why is the economy not picking up already?
Well, why do you think?
I don't know. You guys are the experts.
No, I'm not an economic expert.
Well, you know what? Just like, how about this? Just like when, what was it? I think it was like Trump was in all. Like, what happened? What was it? Like they tried to every economist of the administration blames the administration before it because you're kind of dealing with the repercussions of what the administration did. So I mean, there's that kind of stuff at play. You know what I mean? Like I think But I tell you what, it'll be interesting now that we're calling it the Gulf of America, and we can go down and drill, which would lower
That's
gas prices potentially, and
crazy.
make everything else fucking a lot cheaper. I don't know, man. It's just I'm cool waiting. I'm cool. And remember too, when everyone brings up eggs, they killed like so many fucking chickens because of the bird flu like a couple months ago. So we're also dealing with that. So it's like these bastards are so
They do
cheap.
that. They do
Right.
that every winter. They make a big deal about it. If you have chickens, you know they don't lay as many eggs in the winter. It's really a silly thing that they try to stress people out over. So
Well,
I wouldn't go too crazy on that.
I mean, in like reference to the idea that because these bastards are literally like, oh yeah, how come eggs are like $10, bro? I thought you're gonna get figured. It's like, yo, they've killed a bunch of chickens for one in specific regard to the eggs. But it's like this is how these crackheads do it, bro. It's like they come in like that dude before where he's like, haha, Bill Clinton and I don't see Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein at his house in the kitchen having a cup of coffee. Haha, no, they're at his house in the kitchen having a steak. Haha, but it's not a cup of coffee. It's like, what the? It's the weirdest cope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of like they phrase it like, oh yeah, I haven't seen Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein playing racquetball together. Aha. And then it's like you show them a
Well,
picture of them playing tennis, and they're like, but it isn't
real
racquetball. Gotcha.
real quick,
It's so
can we
weird.
take a moment? Can we take a moment just to be like, holy shit, that it's now the Gulf of America, and it's been the Gulf of Mexico since like the last 200 years or something.
Not on
300.
Apple. Apple hasn't changed it. Google did.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's a
Google Earth has.
conspiracy.
No,
It's
no,
a
they've been ordered to
conspiracy.
do it.
All right, what do you
They've been
guys think's gonna
ordered to do
happen
it
with
now.
the Panama Canal?
I don't know. See, that is something I'm interested in because apparently China's like overstepping some kind of legal bounds with some of the control that they have in the canal. I don't know.
100%. We agreed under a stipulation. We agreed to give the Panama Canal to I think it was Colombia for $1 under like stipulations, and now it's mainly under the influence of China. So to me, that's like taking a critical mind, and then you start decoding a little bit on why this money is being sent to places. Like the DOGE is finding all of these mass amounts of money being sent to systems that don't really make sense. Well, you can probably connect the dots that that's the laundering evidence, right? So they've been racketeering money or laundering money through those programs. An example that has probably been hitting us really hard is self-funding, allowing us to be charged again, like especially through the Panama Canal and our shipping routes, all this stuff. So like the fact that they're going down a path to start exposing the shipping routes and what our leadership has done, I think we're going to see so many different facets on how leadership before was just completely stupid. Like you would have to be almost malicious to be that dumb. And I think America is going to really see that. Like I'm already seeing it.
Well, it's like, for example, my youngest son, because like he went and he stole the ice cream. There's a half a little container left, and he stole it and ate it all. It's like that's what these politicians are doing. They're a baby going in and stealing the ice cream from the freaking freezer and hiding in the cabinet and like going back and doing it the next day so they get caught in the act. Like that's my view of the political administration that's been going on.
Yep. And they
Hand
continue
in the
to.
cookie jar, bro.
Yep. And they use.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, go on, brother.
I was going to say they use the same power they gain to re-inject into winning the next election, right? Into continuing this power. And they've created all these fictitious freaking programs they're pumping money into to fund their own campaigns. They've been using the American tax dollars to fund these misinformation campaigns in the media, to fund social media presence, to pay pop stars to come and perform at their freaking stupid rallies. Like it's disgusting.
They couldn't pay people to go to Biden's rallies, though, could they?
They had to pay people
Dude,
a
that
lot
was,
of money.
bro. Anyway,
fuck,
but
fuck Toby Keith.
does anybody else want to get in? I mean, I'm feeling pretty jolly this morning. What can I say? Someone joined the party. Come on, Issa, you had something to say, right?
I was just gonna say it's like a kid in their room, and like the parent, comes in their room and finds like drugs or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? They're told me not to have, and like they're like, "What were you doing with this?" And they're like, "You went in my room. Oh my god, you went in my room
Yes.
and you did." And it's like, yo, I pay the fucking mortgage, the light bill, the fucking shut the fuck up. Why do you have this in my house? And they're like, "You
Yeah.
went in my room. You violated our trust. Oh my god, I'm gonna call the
No.
principal. I'm gonna cry
You're
about
killing me,
it. Oh my
Smalls.
god."
You're
It's like,
killing me, Smalls.
right, it's just like that. And they're just over there whining and fucking making up every red herring. Oh, wait, I think it's my friend Susie's, and then it's just all bullshit.
Ah.
And it's
Yep.
just fucking so retarded and stupid. And nobody, and you know what it is? We literally
Take
live in a,
money from the hungry.
yeah.
Ah.
That was for someone who was gonna do this with it, and he was gonna go to college and pay his car.
Nah.
Like fucking what? You know what
This
I mean?
kid's
Like,
starving now. It's Trump's
right.
fault.
Eduardo's
Nah.
child's starving now because you took my drugs from anything and went in. It's just like, what
Yep.
the fuck are you on about? And that's where everyone's like, but we live in a world, like I was going to say, of these entitled fucking brats who've never been like reprimanded in their life, cry when they get told no for the first time in their life. And like that needs to happen. That's because our parental structure's falling apart, the family unit, da 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 da. And how fucking sweet is it that we got someone who's like going to restore potentially Christian values and fucking like make America, great again and make families great again? Give them like, how cool would it be if kids don't have to take vaccines to go to schools and like people can fucking, I just, I hope all that fucking happens.
I love how they were able to stop the $50 million to Gaza for condoms.
Yeah, what a wild thing. And then I can't believe that there's people out here defending like, and here's their argument too. They go, well, we don't like their argument is, well, he's just overstepping Congress and doing all this and and like it's like all these made up rules that Trump can totally do anyway. And they're just crying about how it's getting done, not about what they found, which is just very telling.
Yeah, if you listen to
Can
the
you show
views
me that
take,
thing about the $50 million for condoms?
yeah, you can look up. I think
Yeah,
it's who's the press
I
secretary
did
right
look it
for
up. Do you have a
Gaza.
source?
For Gaza.
It's Caroline
Yeah, for
Levitt.
Gaza.
Yeah, if you look up Caroline
She
Levitt's,
sent.
Yeah, what about the $30 million that we were sending to
Hold on, hang
Ecuador
on. One thing at a
for
time.
all
Did
right,
she just
Wait,
repeat
real
the
quick.
claim, or did she
apparently I
actually
can't
was she
talk, dude.
actually involved?
Real quick, let him tanks. He's just trying to get the info on the site. Go ahead.
yeah, it was
No, I
there's
want an actual source because I've looked this up and it doesn't seem to be true. When people say you guys will believe anything, there's a
The
reason.
White House press
Well, hold on,
secretary
dude. Let him give
comes
the full
forth with
site.
some
You haven't even let him give the full site.
Yeah.
Sorry,
The
Issa.
White House press secretary comes forth with some fresh information from Doge, and these faggots want a link to Politico to verify it. Dude,
yeah.
go eat a dick. Go look at the
I'll
fucking.
take
Go look what she
any
said,
source I
dude.
can verify.
No,
No,
because
no,
you
I can
just
answer it.
always
I can
say
answer it.
shit. You always say shit like, "Oh, it's just a White House press briefing." It's like, yeah, bitch, that's the fucking news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he said, and even though he was a little aggressive right there, he's absolutely accurate. The DOJE has not officially released a public report. So when Caroline Levitt comes up and tells you, that's word of mouth. That's her telling you directly from the administration under approval from the administration, right? So not saying that's a source and trying to discredit her is basically saying you don't believe that she was supposed to say that day for some reason. So
No,
why
no,
don't you
I
think
don't believe
why do
that's
you
accurate.
why do you think she made it up?
I don't think she made it up. I think the administration made it up.
Okay, fine. What did she say? Tell me what the background,
I
please.
mean,
Wild.
that's a different argument, though, at the
Dude, that's
same
not even the
time.
worst
So.
Yeah, I
of
was
it,
gonna
bro.
say that's just totally different.
I heard some crazy shit too that we sent $30 million to like Ecuador for trans surgery for trainees in Ecuador, dude.
Yep.
And there was in Congress there was a congressional hearing and they're asking like, why'd you guys send $30 million to Ecuador for? And they're like, no comment.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
Womp womp.
$8 million to Uganda to teach reporters how to say she and her, or to teach them not to say
I thought
she
that
and
was
her.
Sri Lanka. Was that Uganda or Sri Lanka?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, it was like Afghanistan was getting sent money to do LGBTQ plays.
And that's the common denominator. They're pushing.
Yeah, and they all got murdered and blown up when they did that. Taliban killed them.
Yep. And they only gave $730 to all the people that got hit by Hurricane Helene. You know, looking at the budget comparison.
Well,
Now the craziest one was the 85. It was like $85 million went to Clinton, the daughter. What's her name?
Oh yeah.
Chelsea
Clinton, dude, for her marriage, dude. It was supposed to go for Haiti after the earthquake, dude, but it went to Chelsea Clinton's prosperity fund.
Yeah, it went to her
That-
nonprofit.
Dude, it went to her marriage, dude. She had a crazy wedding, dude. She was using fund money for the Haiti disaster, dude, for her own benefit. That is insane, dude. The God's gonna judge her for that if she doesn't repent, dude.
I mean, the courts can judge her for that. That's misappropriation. Like, where
People
was
are
that
not worried about God,
charged?
bro. They're worried about
Hopefully,
cocaine.
We
man
hope,
judges her for
we
that.
hope the courts do. We hope the courts do.
Hopefully, the man judges
when
her
was
for
this?
that.
How long
Than
ago?
God.
Well, Biden pardoned everyone in advance, so it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah, bro, I can't believe that happened. That he pardoned like an advance. Like what the golly?
How's that even possible?
Well, now there should be no fear of investigation because they're already pardoned. So all the truth should be, don't worry about it. It should be able to come out.
The thing is, people were saying this. Like, I remember when the Haiti earthquake happened, dude, and people were like, dude, they're like smuggling money. The Red Cross is stealing kids. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like the Red Cross is evil as shit.
Yeah, because if you pardon these people, right, that means like if you didn't pardon them, you may just stop at pardon them. You may just stop at them and say, well, those are the bad guys. They did it, and you wouldn't really find out, who made them do it, whatever they did. So you can look at it from both sides.
Well, I find it interesting. You look at takes like CNN, their coverage of the DOGE, they're presenting it like these 20-year-olds, like especially look at the big balls story, right? Them trying to even like use that as a joke and to get everyone to pay attention and to like do this slander reel. They're like, if you listen to their actual take on it, they're exposing, they don't even know how computers work.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna start calling Doge E-God because it's backwards, man. Yeah, it's the E. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that. They're like literally creating like this E. What? It's like for
Bro, look,
judgmental purposes. I love it.
yeah. And you look at what they say about it, they're claiming they have more than read-only access. No, these 20-year-olds have read-only, and they're building reports. And they submit those reports to the executive administration. So claiming that they have some sort of, root access to our personal information and all the payment stuff is a joke. Like,
Yo, you know what I like about this one? I
Doge
love
wouldn't.
this point is the idea that they were like these people that are fucking like crying about how Doge is going through everything. It's like, dude, they were gonna hire like how many fucking thousand IRS employees to go after people and check their accounting books?
75,000. Yeah.
So they were gonna send a bunch of people after everybody else, but now everyone's crying that they're gonna get audited themselves. Like, go fuck off, man.
Yeah, no, it's not the personal information of all the citizens. It's the personal information of the recipients of US ID. That's what they're worried about, being exposed as corrupt.
right.
They're about to audit the Pentagon next, dude. I heard. And every single time the
And
Pentagon's
the
been audited,
education
dude,
department
they
and
never,
the military.
hold on, dude. They never pass an audit.
Yep.
The Pentagon, like the last 2 times I remember, once they're like, "What happened to this $1 trillion? Where's the $1 trillion? Oh, we don't know where it went." And then like the first time they were missing like $6 billion. I don't know, dude. Every single time they get audited, dude, is like, "Where's all this money going?" And nobody knows where the money went.
Yep.
Wow.
So where do you think all this money is going to go that they're saving?
No idea.
Why is that? Let me ask you this: why is that more important than asking where is it going now? and why are we using it for that? Right? Because you can use
Well,
money
I
for
think
a
it's
lot
more
of things. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, asking it is like a mirror of that, and it seems like why are more people focused on where they're going to use it for?
Well, I suspect that there's government waste anywhere you look. That's not going to be surprising to me. But the excitement over saving all of this money, which, by the way, USAID is a 0.5% of the federal budget. It's a rounding error at best. It seems to me that the implication is that they're saving all of this money to put it back into the pockets of the American taxpayer, which, if you look at the first Trump's first term, the tax breaks he gave to the rich are about to wear out, are about to expire. And I suspect, just a suspicion, I don't know for sure, that they're trying to get that money back so they can do another round of tax cuts for the rich. So everybody excited that they're saving all this money. It seems like, I don't know if they're really justified in hoping anything's going to come back to them.
Yeah, I hope nobody has their income taxed. How about that, brother? Even the billionaires, dude. I hope nobody gets their income taxed. Fuck taxation. So, and that's the only reason people are like upset about fucking billionaires talking about they don't pay their fair share of taxes. Okay, let's get rid of taxes then.
Well, the problem is
You know,
That's the reason you think?
there's factions in the rich, right? So you have rich people that invest into politicians, into certain leaders. So claiming that, creating tax exemptions for the rich, like, is a blanket, it's not a negative implication. It's just a fact. So I wonder, if you're focused on re-injecting that money back into the American infrastructure, right? If you can find billions of dollars that are going into wasteful programs to other countries, and we can refocus that on our country, all I see is a benefit. There's more money in the circulation. There's more money available, especially you look at the other things that they're lining up around it. There's going to be more job opportunities for people to earn that money, right? So just because there's tax exemptions for rich
Sure.
people, right? So I just see there's still a lot of hope to be had, even though, like,
Well,
he announced AI and he's talking about vaccines again and all this negative stuff we can worry about. But
yeah, so it's a calculation, right? It's a cost benefit analysis. So we say that there's all this government waste, and rather than waste this money, we can put it to good use in the economy. I'm all for that, obviously. The issue is, was it actually wasteful in the first place? And is it actually going to be injected back into the economy? If that's your goal, there's much better ways to do that than tax relief for the rich. Number one. Number two, I have a suspicion that all of these wasteful programs weren't as wasteful as a lot of people are claiming they were. Like, I've asked about a lot of these programs, no one could really tell me what they were doing or why. So it sounds like people have just heard a bunch of, I don't want to say propaganda, but media
Come on,
spin.
dude.
The
Can't be that
money, the
much of a.
money was being used internationally to push agendas controlled by the American government, as in LGBT
You
and
can call it
It's
transgender
agenda.
not. It's
Well,
not, dude.
and
It's
these
not.
hormone blockers.
manufactotum. You can
Yeah, you
call it
can call it
propaganda
agendas,
because it is
but the amount
propaganda
of
by definition. Like, don't feel bad about that. It's like that's what the news is.
And they were
It's
doing this in
propaganda.
Australia too. They were sending like tens of millions of dollars to push the LGBT and immigration programs.
yeah, and I can dial
Because
in on a. Sorry.
I asked the politicians. I asked the politicians, why are we pushing these agendas so hard? What is wrong? Who's
and what
funding
did they
this?
say?
And they
It
didn't
was the.
tell me, but now it
So yeah.
all
So,
works out. It came from the United States.
bro, it's funny because the churches also are revolting right now because they're getting their funds taken away. Because a lot of the churches were literally putting rainbow flags, painting the front of the churches with rainbow
Yep.
colors, inviting all the fags in. It's because they were getting funding from the government to do that, bro. And now they took their
Yep.
funding away. I heard a pastor the other day tweeting out at the podium, "We're not gonna allow this to happen. They're taking our funds away. They're taking our Social Security away. They're taking our Medicare away." Like, they're mixing Medicare and Social Security with the whole transgender shit, bro. Like,
Yep.
mischaracterizing what the government's doing,
And
and
not to, like,
and it's a problem, dude. It's a problem. And you say it's propaganda, bro. The paper trail's there. Like, the receipts are all there, dude. There's congressional hearings on it. they're being confronted
That's
and they're
not what I was
silent.
saying.
They're silent, bro. Clearly, you're
Yeah,
apologetic, bro.
that specifically is not what I was saying was propaganda.
Here.
But as far as the church programs, the churches are getting their funding taken away. What was the funding for, and why was it wrong for the churches to spend it in that way?
Well, what happens is these for operating under a certain.
Hold on, dude. He was asking me that, or I thought he was asking me that.
No, you're right. You're right.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. So you have to understand that when a church signs up with the government, they make a government contract. They're basically signing over to the beast, right? So when they become a 5031C church or whatever it is, they're signing their ethics away, their morals away. So now they're morally compromised, and instead of putting the Bible first, now it's Uncle Sam comes first, right? So Uncle Sam wants you to promote, gender neutrality and this whole all this stuff that's completely abominable according to the scripture, because they're getting funding, dude. Right? They get
Yeah,
to
it
pay
wasn't
off
Uncle Sam. It
their
was Uncle
bills.
Zhang Chu. Uncle Zhang Chu. They were trying to dress up as Uncle Sam. That's the
So
difference.
not they
He
get
was
if
fucking
they
awesome.
don't if they don't promote this stuff, they get their funding taken away, and even their tax exemption is at risk being taken away. They have to follow a government curriculum. If they deviate from that curriculum, they won't be tax exempt anymore, or receive
Okay.
funding.
Yeah, flat out, I don't believe you. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know how well they can negotiate that contract exactly. But my suspicion is that if you're a church, you have a responsibility to your congregation first and foremost. And if your congregation has some X amount of trans people in it, you might just find the benefit in catering to those people. I don't know that there's any stipulation in those contracts that say you have to put X amount of like gay pride flags up, or you get your funding taken away.
Okay,
I don't think it works like.
have you read the contracts? Because I have, and this is old news, bro. People that are in the faith, people that are in the faith have been aware of this for a long time. The churches in America have been compromised for a very, very long time because of these tax exemptions. Now they have to follow
Can
a
you show me
specific
that
curriculum.
stipulation specifically?
It's called the 5031C. Look it up, dude. It's not my fault that you're incredulous and naive.
Mine is
look it up, dude.
501c3. 501c3 is what it is.
501c3.
And they're not
You said
allowed.
you've read the contract. I'm asking for any stipulation anywhere in there that says you have to abide by these cultural norms, XYZ, whatever it may be, or your funding gets cut. That's what I'm looking for specifically.
It's in the fine print. It's in the contract, dude. And it's not just that. It's a list of things. Like if you start promoting Torah keeping, Torah observance, that can get your funds slashed. If you start promoting anything that's like, there's a whole list of stipulations in that contract, bro. That's why I would never ever sign sign to that shit. This 5031C or whatever. Post that shit, Issa, if you can.
Listen, just say it right, man. 501c3.
501c3.
Yep, and they're not allowed to they're also not allowed to go against the government, which is it's interesting because take for instance remember when the Democrats wanted to keep everyone as a slave back in the fucking 1800s? It was the churches that rebelled against the government and their stance on slavery. So it was always Republicans and the churches and people with morality that fought against tyranny and fucking oppression of colored people and fucking white people alike. And so but that 501c3 limits churches and their ability to go against the government if they get government funding. And because if you do get government funding, they do have a requirement that you can't be biting the hand that feeds you is basically what they want. But I'm sure
That's
there's
ridiculous.
programs where don't take the money then. And that's why that's why if there was more money in the hands of billionaires, let's say, I think there'd be more there'd be more private churches. Then if you have private churches, then you have private schools. You know what I mean? There would be so much affluence that could be given to the idea in government is even as a tenant, this basic level is the state better at providing for the people, or are people better for providing for the people? And capitalism has proven itself to be corrupt in that sense, in the general sense right now. What I mean is that and also the state socialism has been proven to be corrupt because people suck. That's why with the beauty of our system is that the individual can wage war and find remedy against 300 million fucking billionaires. using our court system, which is fucking why I always love that shit. However, like it's this ebb and flow of states control of wealth versus private citizens control of wealth. And I just saying we haven't really seen private citizen wealth operate because ever since the 1933 it's been
But
strictly
that if
fucking
you're setting up a
corporate shit.
church, yeah. But if you're running a church and you're taking conditional ideological based funding, you're not running that church for your congregation. You're running it for the government money, aren't you?
If it's
So
government
I'm
money,
really looking for
if it's
this,
government money, yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not seeing anything here
You
that
have no
says you're
interest in your
truly
fucking
obliged to
congregation.
do anything. If I'm being super charitable, there's stipulations in here that say that you basically have to abide by federal laws. Now, if we're talking about like accessibility stuff, like you can't discriminate for one reason or another, if I'm being super charitable, you might interpret that as saying like they can't discriminate against trans or gay people, but it says nothing about
I got a conspiracy here. Why, when I went
Well, hold on before you
to
delve
go look
into
it up,
conspiracy.
right?
It's not about.
Is this
Just real quick, brother. Hey, real quick. Just this point that dude, it was more
it's not a
about
new
the states. They don't want churches
conspiracy?
going against the state that's
It's
going to war.
related to this. So when I
You're
went
breaking
on
up.
to this road, I was already talking. Just wait till I finish.
well, what he fixes his mic. It seems like I was more or less right about that not being an actual stipulation.
About LGBTQ shit. Maybe he was making a pretty broad accusation. I'm just saying I think that in
Why
those.
you cut me off?
Hold on. Well, you were breaking up too, man. But I mean, I was just gonna make this caveat real quick and then carry on, dude. Mike is yours. Just that the idea that it's more about, not going against what the state wants, using your church against the state. That's kind of the stipulations of a 501c3 if you're getting government money.
Yeah, it's
Carry on, Tex.
state money. That
I
should
just
not be
wanted